Hey everybody, Claus here. As long as I'm stuck inside, I thought I'd do some more Muppet-based videos. Now, I already showed you my Muppet collection. This time, I'm going to go over something I've wanted to talk about for a long time. Bad Muppet merchandise. Now, I know what you're all thinking. Claus, this video's already been done. Yes, it has, and that's why I wanted to do my own view on it. And also, let me say before I get into the review that I don't hate Muppet merchandise. I enjoy owning it and collecting it, but there is a lot of bad Muppet merchandise out there, and I just thought I'd show you my opinion on some stuff. Well, let's get right into it. Now, I've had this Kermit plush for a long time, and it's obviously seen better days. One thing I should mention is that that's probably not Kermit's shade of green. Also, what's up with his eyes there? One of them's crooked the other way. And also, they made his face a little too round, making him look a bit like a turtle, or even a dinosaur. It's especially bad when you compare it to the surprisingly authentic Kermit plush made at the Disney store the same year. Even when you compare it with the early Kermit plush made by Fisher-Price. That's one thing I should mention. Early Muppet merchandise turned out just fine. I don't know what changed now. And to go with that, I have this especially bad Fozzie Bear. That was released on the same lineup as that Kermit. They got his color completely wrong. It's almost a beige instead of Fozzie's signature orange or golden brown. And what's up with his eyes there? Oh boy, this one. I love ranting about this one. Here's a Cookie Monster plush made by Hasbro in the 80s. Now, I'll admit, I like this as a collectible. But as pointed out in a video by the Wompy Bunch, these plushes from this lineup are very special, as they each wear a t-shirt with their name on it.
But it's not very often you see a Sesame Street plush wearing a t-shirt, or just a Sesame Street character in general wearing a t-shirt.
But when I showed him to most of my friends, they all assumed it was just some bootleg or knockoff. I mean, there's a number of problems with him. What is up with his legs there? He looks like some sort of frog. His eyes aren't really popping out like they do in the show, and his head's way too round. Also, it looks like the sweater is really tight on him. Now here are some Muppet Pez dispensers. These are half decent, I'll say. I remember getting a whole set of these when they came out in stores. Now, Fozzie's pretty good. Animal's okay, but now I'm going to be mentioning this a lot in this video. Pretty much all animal merchandise. His fur is usually pink, purple, or magenta instead of red. An animal's supposed to be red. This Kermit at first glance will look good, but wait till you look at it from the side. At first he looks fine when you look at him from the front. Then on the side you'll notice they made his mouth a little too pointy and it's shaped a little wrong. The eyes are off and the collar is questionable. As I said before, you think Muppets would turn out just fine as plushes since they're puppets to begin with. But no, check out this Kermit that was released at Hallmark, I think, just a few years back. Overall, the plush looked fine, but the collar's a little small. And what's up with his eyes then? Then we have this Kermit over here, who I believe wasn't actually sold for retail sale, just some sort of carnival prize. He looks perfectly normal when you look at him like this. Now wait till I pull him off the shelf. He's actually a Slinky cut down to the middle, which could have worked. This could have been a good plush. He has 11 points in the color, his shades of green are perfect, but the eyes are a little messed up. They're not really quite in focus, and a little too high up on the face, and pushed apart a little bit. Alright, now this one I don't hate. I like it as a collectible again. It's this Oscar the Grouch made by Knickerbocker in the 70s. His shade of green is way too dark. More of a forest green instead of his signature mossy green. Also, this might just have to do with how old he is, but his eyes are a little crooked. But overall, I actually kind of like this plush. It's just the colors and eyes that are off. It's not often you get an Oscar plush with legs. Next is this Muppet puzzle. Now, here's what we'll do. Take a minute, and see if you notice any errors in it. Anything? Well, I'll tell you what it is. Now, I've seen this photo before of the whole group of Muppets. I'll pull it up right here just so you can see. There we go. And obviously they photoshopped Dr. Teeth, Sam Eagle, Animal, Swedish Chef, and Walter in the back. Now, that isn't the main error. I'll show you the main error in just a minute. Now, they photoshopped them really badly, given how big they are compared to all the other characters. Dr. Teeth especially. But here's one major error. There are two Rizzos, one right here and one right here. And you can tell that one is clearly photoshopped in. I don't know why they did that. Oh boy. Before I do this one, let me just say, I love this book. This book taught me an awful lot, so I'm not just talking this thing down. I'm just pointing out some errors. Alright, here we go. This is the Sesame Street 40 Years of Life on the Street book. It is a great book. It has a lot of what goes on behind the scenes. Only problem is the extremely bad photoshopping on the front cover. Well, Big Bird seems decent sized when you compare him with Mr. Hooper. Grover is a little huge. Cookie is way too big when you compare him with Susan right there. Ernie and Bert and Elmo are really oversized when you compare them with Bob right there. They made the two-headed monster and Barkley way too small. Prairie Dawn's way too huge, especially if you've seen the scale of the actual puppet. And Hairy Monster is extremely tiny right here. I don't know what they were thinking with this. Yes. Here we go. Here comes the best piece. I got this animal a few months ago at a flea market. This is a nice collectible in a way, because it was released on the opening of Muppet Vision 3D at Walt Disney World. But, one look at the face of this animal, and I don't need to explain anything. It's not just that the colors are off, but just look at the way they did that face. This is a terrible animal. I believe this was actually featured in the Tough Pigs Ugly Toys pageant more than once. And which is a shame, because if you look at the torso, they got that all right. The skin color, great. His clothes, perfect. But then once you look at the face, what went wrong? It's a shame given that he's one of my favorite Muppets, but pretty much all animal merchandise does not turn out great. This one has a questionable eyebrow, unfocused eyes, and some orange hair behind his eyebrow. I don't know what that's about. Same goes for this one right here. Also, they made the skin a little bit too light. This one is way off, especially how light they made the pink, and how the face doesn't look that shaggy. Well, I mean, I know it would have been hard because it's made of plastic, but, I mean, just look at that. This one could have gone right. They got the nose color right. The pink is almost red, but the eyebrow's all wrong. And this one is just terrible. I mean, look at that face. I'll never understand why animal merchandise is always pink, when we all know Animal is red. Then there's the Sesame Street beans from the 90s. Elmo is okay. Telly's decent. Sherlock Hemlock is terrible. And the honker, well, it could have been better. This one's actually my favorite in the set, just saying. Then there's this Big Bird hand puppet. It's actually kind of cute when I look at it. It just doesn't really look like Big Bird. It looks more like a little chick. Same goes for this miniature Big Bird right here. Now, the last thing I wanted to address was this Kermit mug back here. I love this as a collectible. Only thing is the head sculpt is questionable, and they pushed down the eyes a little too much. I know it would have been hard since there had to be a hole at the top of his head, but honestly, what were they thinking? And so that was my view on bad Muppet merchandise. Before I want to go, I just want to say, if anyone who took part in making any of this merchandise, sees this video, I really hope they take no offense. You know, sometimes as YouTubers, we tend to forget that the stuff that we're criticizing has actual people working behind it who might see this video and get offended. I apologize if it may seem that way. I enjoy owning all this Muppet merchandise. Even if it's bad, I still buy it. I'm a sucker for Muppets. Yeah. Well, anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for more.
Yeesh. Some people need better things to do with their time.